Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. So I am just waiting for my partner in wealth. I was going to say my partner in crime, but that doesn't really make sense. So my partner in creating wealth, Kathy, so that she can hop on and we can talk about some tools to create some wealth. How does it get any better than this? Hello, 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 everybody. What else is possible? Oh, there we go. Add. Soon. I'm sure she's coming soon. Ah, there you are. Hello, honey.
Hi.
Oh, were you just like swimming or something?
That was a shower. It's morning time here. But I could have been. The whales are here. It's just amazing right now. So
Oh, wow. And so you can literally see them from the beach, like you just stand on the beach and you can see them, like it's that easy?
yep. I might be able to see them from here if they jump. Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Wow. Well, here I am once again talking to you, and I'm in a turtleneck and a sweater in Canada, which, I mean, of course, I love Canada. I live here, and I am counting my sleeps until I spend 3 weeks in Hawaii with you. Well, not the whole 3 weeks with you, but we are gonna play.
Yes, we are. Oh my goodness. The location is
Yes.
epic. Yeah.
Yay. Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so exciting. So, of course, anywhere that any you might want to come and play with us in Hawaii, it is we're going to have one class called Embodying Wealth and Opulence, and of course, today Kathy and I are going to talk about wealth. We're going to have that, and it's the 19th, 20th, and 23rd, and the venue is so phenomenal. You literally will be able to sit in class and watch the whales. Um, Amazing, amazing. And the 18th, I just haven't got the write-up done yet, but it'll be a class about really just clearing whatever energies are blocking you from creating what you'd like to create. So watch for that. But in the meantime, Miss Kathy, why don't you just tell everybody just a snippet about you, because you've got lots of awesomeness going on too.
Oh goodness. Thank you, Glenyce. I live on Maui, as you can see. And um, I created that about 7 years ago, and I really just love to help people create lives that they enjoy, and businesses that work for them. You know, I'm a super busy mom and have a business too, and so I can relate to like having obligations and duties as a mom, and wanting to make that fun and choosing to make it fun, and also having like things that light me up and drive me, and like wanting to create a greater world, and so I like to help people do that, like be a mom if they are, and also like get themselves into the world and their creations into the world. So I have a couple of books, gone through that process of like what is it, like self-criticism. I used to have like a shit ton of self-criticism all the time, and to get a book out in the world felt like getting naked and walking around and not knowing what people were thinking. So actually getting naked and walking around might be better because you could see people's responses. And like pouring yourself out onto paper and then getting it out there, it's like, wow, I don't even know what people are thinking about this, and judging. And then I realized it doesn't even matter, right? Their story about my story is just their story. So yeah, so that's what I like to help people do, get out of their own way.
I love that. I love that. And just yeah, like really just it's their stuff. It's totally their stuff. And Just a shout out to everybody who's saying hello. It's just going by so quickly. So hello to all of you.
Hello.
Thanks for joining us. Kathy and I are so excited. We are both Access Consciousness certified facilitators. We both travel this beautiful planet of ours, facilitating classes. We're pretty much sluts, so we'll go anywhere you ask us, pretty much, you know. Antarctica might be a bit of a pull right now for me and maybe for Kathy, but who knows?
It'd be fun. I've never been there.
I know hubby would be thrilled because he would be able to go geocaching. But anyway, let's talk about what's one tool, one of the Access Consciousness tools, Kathy, that you've used to create wealth.
You know, I was thinking about this, and there are so many. And the one I would say is really communicating with my business and my body. And, you know, sitting and asking my business. And I'm calling it my business, but we could also call it the business. And just being like, hey, what would you like to be? What would you like me to do today to contribute to you? And that's true of any creation, right? When I was creating a book, I asked it, what would you like to be? And it would show me. I'd get images of people, or throughout the day, something would ping me. It's like my business has expanded so much since I started to allow it to run the show, rather than me thinking, I have to do this, and you know, this is what's practical in the next step. And when I would ask my business, hey business, what would you like to be? I remember this deliberate moment when I got an image of surfing. And I was like, what does surfing have to do with expanding my business? And the information we get like that is not always linear, but it can bring a new idea, or out there I could meet a new person, or it just, maybe I've been too intensely, seriously focusing on my business. And, you know, when you're serious with anything, it doesn't expand and grow as much as when you're like, hey, cool, how much fun can we have with this? You know, so definitely like communicating with my business and asking, just as though it's a friend sitting next to me, hey, what's up? What would you like me to do for you today? What can I contribute? You know, what would you like to be? Has just expanded my money flows so much, because I might get a ping, San Diego. And then, okay, who's looking for this? You know, keep asking questions and keep communicating with your creations. And it just keeps getting better and better.
I love that. I love that. Now, for anybody who's watching that maybe isn't familiar, and now I'm going to make an assumption that when you talk about communicating with it, are you using the light and the heavy?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Can you just talk about it a moment, just in case somebody watching doesn't know that? Maybe they're really new, or they don't even know about Access Consciousness.
Sure. Yeah. So light and heavy is an amazing tool of Access Consciousness that you can use every day, like multiple times a day, to get an awareness of what's true for you. And I love the questions you ask, Glenyce. You ask like, okay, to sense your light and sense your heavy, ask, truth, does my body like to drink paint thinner? And then you get a sense like, that feels kind of off. Right? That would be no. And now, truth, does my body like to drink water? And there's a different quality. And for everybody, it's going to be different. You know, it might show up in your body. It might show up like, I get an expansive sense somehow. And you can really play with those questions. Like if you're sitting, you can ask, truth, is my body sitting? And get a light or a heavy. And then truth, is my body running? And get a light or a heavy. So play with what you already know is true. And then you can get a sense as you go out into the world with other questions that you're not quite so sure about.
I love it. I love it. And just as a disclaimer, even if your body, if you got a light when you asked about paint thinner, you still are not allowed to drink it. Kathy and I are laying the rules down right now. You're still not allowed to drink it. Seems silly we have to say that, and yet we'll say it.
Maybe it needs that homeopathy. Sometimes, like, there's the tiniest amount of something. Don't go drink it. Right. Go to the homeopathic remedy store and find whatever your body is looking for.
There's our disclaimer. I love that. And I'll put a link, guys, too. I did a radio show I think it was in 2014, and I called it "What the Fuck is Light and Heavy?" because it's so confusing for so many people. And the way that Kathy and I talk about it, it can even be different than that for you. So I'll put the radio show if you want more information or just want a refresher. You can go and check that out, because it really is probably the tool, one of the tools I use the absolute most. And I'm sure it's very similar for you too, Kathy.
Thank you. Yes, definitely. All day long, All
day long. Cool. All right. Well, I'll share the tool that I would say, it's always so hard to say which one, but I know I had a huge change and continuous change when I finally sat down and went through what it cost me to live each month. And then went through and added up like all the additional stuff that I would like to have. And another radio show I did, I called it "Get Your Head Out of Your Ass," because when I finally did the exercise that, is talked about in so many different places and Access Consciousness, I literally heard the popping noise when my head came out of my ass. So, and I didn't actually do that until 2014, and I'd been studying these tools for 3 years, and it took me that long. So we will definitely put the links to the radio shows, guys, so you have that to listen to. But basically it's about going in, getting really clear. What does it cost you to live each month? Because once you know, then you can ask for that. But most of us are putting our head up our ass and pretending it costs us way less than it does. And then we're also not factoring in, what would you like to add to your life? Like if you would like a trip to Hawaii, if it's let's say it's June and you would like a trip to July and January, and it's going to cost you, I don't know the math, $8,000, let's say. And so then you'd want to add in there $1,000 a month to put away for that trip. If you want to buy a different car, if you want a different house. So you start having your, exactly what it costs you to live each month. So go back through the last 3 months or 6 months of expenses, and then the add in, okay, I'd like to go to Hawaii, I'd like to go get a new car, and then maybe it costs you to live each month $3,000, and what you'd like to be adding to your life is another 3. Then every day, what energy, space, and consciousness can my body and I be to generate, create, actualize, and receive at least $6,000 a month with total ease? Whew. Anything that doesn't allow that, right, wrong, good, bad, online, POD, POC, shorts, boys, and beyonds. And Alina, you're very welcome for that show about control. You're very, very welcome. I'm so grateful to hear that. So it's just looking at and getting so clear. And I don't know what it was, and I think many people go through the same thing with it, is this, if they get aware with money, it's like when people go to, like, people think about writing their wills. It's like, if I write my will, I'm going to die. Except that's not it. So it really is like, if you get really clear on what it costs you to live each month and then start dreaming big. Now, I have probably done this since 2014. I've probably done it 6 times. And every time I have done it, I have never, ever made less than that number. Mm-hmm. Once I become aware of it, and that's the trick to everything, my sweet friends, become aware of it, then you can actually create beyond it. And so it's one that everybody resists. I shouldn't say everybody, but most everybody resists. Took me 3 years, and what it has changed for me has exponentialized. So That's the tool I'm sharing today. Do you have anything? Have you done that, Kathy?
Yes, Glenyce, and I started asking for a certain amount, and then my husband was offered several different business interests and things, and it was really palpable what changed as I started to ask for a greater amount each month. And it truly is one of those things that I had resistance to, and I know a lot of people have resistance to. Would you address that a little bit more, please?
Absolutely. Really I mean, sometimes we resist what will create more, and sometimes resistance is awareness that it's just not going to create more. So you always want to stay in the question. And I know for myself, and certainly the way it sounds for you, Kathy, it was the resistance of what would create more. And what occurs with a lot of it is that when we have resistance to what will create more, what we're often aware of, and probably not cognitively, but then we'll be even more different. So if we, if we created even more difference than other people around us, then we're even more different. And somewhere along the way, we got the message different was wrong. So then we resist what will create the change so that we can continue to fit in, and nobody will be mad at us, and nobody will get upset, and nobody will think we're bad people because now we have money, and on and on and on and on and on. So everything that just brought up, my sweet friends, will you destroy and uncreate it all and return it to sender with consciousness. Whew. Right, wrong, good, bad, online, bad, buck, shorts, boys, and beyonds. Do you have anything to add, Kathy?
Well, what just popped into my head is that, I mean, okay, being different because you have money. I had a teacher once who, in the middle of a private session, and this was long before Access, he pulled out a wad of cash, and he said, "Kathy, this is like $400, and I carry this around with me all the time. Do my neighbors know? No, I live in a podunk town and I have chickens. I don't have to flaunt my money to all the people around me. I just get to be me and do what works for me, and they don't have to know about it."
I love that. I love that. And in Access, we have that saying, just for me, just for fun, never tell anyone. Because we don't have to. And that's when we talk, when, students ask in classes about it, and they'll say, oh my gosh, I don't want to make my parents feel bad, and I'll just, I usually just jokingly say, well, do they have access to your bank account? Like, they don't actually have to know the number in there. So it really is just about what works for us without having to, tell anybody or show $400 to your neighbors or whatever it might be. It's really just the space of having it and enjoying it for you, and knowing that, having the awareness of what will create more and who it will create more to share it with and who it won't.
Yeah.
Because there'd be times where absolutely, bringing it out like he did with you, he was aware showing it to you would create a different reality for you. And then he's aware that probably his neighbors might think they would like some or whatever it might be. So it's just that awareness of what will create more with it. So
Yeah.
Awesome. I love it.
Not about hiding, just about like, what's this going to create? Just like if I say something, what will that create? Yes. Okay, maybe it'll create more to say it or not to say it.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And Juliet asked a brilliant question. She said, what do you do with the judgments that come at you, or how people separate from you because of it? And I'll get you to answer in a moment, Kathy. I'm gonna answer just because it's right there for me. What you want to realize, and maybe you didn't catch the very beginning of this, but what you want to recognize is that people judge you based on their stuff, and people judge you to control you. So you can allow that, or you can just say, thank you very much. You're totally right. I am horrible. I am awful. I am all about the money. I am, whatever the judgment that's being delivered, just receive it. Drop the barriers, drop the walls, drop the need to be right, drop the need to fight back. Let them judge you. It's not going to do anything except give them no energy to fight against. Because most often we'll resist a judgment, which will give them the energy to fight.
Oh yeah.
So people will judge you. I would guarantee you $1 million people will judge you no matter what you're doing or where you're at. And what if you just allowed yourself to receive it? How about you, Miss Kathy? What do you have to say for her?
This is one of my favorite places where interesting point of view comes into play. You know, it's like everyone's judgment about you is their story. And it's their story that's actually more about them than it is about you. It's like and we could do a Facebook Live. I'll be at the hotel that we're going to be at, Oceanfront, in just a couple of days. So we could do a whole Facebook Live. So let's say I say to somebody, oh, you're wearing those sandals in the snow? It's too cold to wear those sandals. You shouldn't be wearing those sandals. That judgment is more about me and what I would do. I would not wear the sandals in the snow. So the judgment's more about me. It's not about them. So and so that person doesn't have to modify or change their behavior based on my judgment. My judgment's just a story in my head. So interesting point of view, the idea that everyone's judgment, everyone's attitude, criticism, perspective, emotional state, all of it is just an interesting point of view, takes away the power that anything could have over you. Anyone else's judgment and your own judgment. It applies to you too. Interesting point of view. I have that judgment about me, you know?
I love that. I love that. Awesome. And Jackie, who is, I believe she lives out in BC somewhere, Vancouver maybe. She says, I wear slippers in the snow and get that judgment.
I picked it up from you.
That's hilarious because I wear slippers in my house, and then I have, like 14 layers to go outside. And so really, 3 weeks in Hawaii, I am seriously on the countdown for that. Yes. Awesome. Well, another invite to you guys, my sweet friends. Would love to have you join Kathy and I in Hawaii. It is also live streamed. So if for some ridiculous reason you're not able to get to Hawaii, you can join us online also. So we'll put the link to that here, and I'll put the links to those radio shows, and also put a link to Kathy's webpage too, because she's got lots of awesomeness going on too. So check us out, and we look forward to you coming and playing in person or live stream, whatever works.
And even if you're live stream, you can't quite put your toes in the sand, but we'll do our best to film those whales for you. Okay.
We will do that. We will do that. Absolutely. Awesome. Thank you so much, Kathy. I so love playing with you. And yeah, let's play again when you're at the venue.
Wonderful. I look forward to it. Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Thanks. Thanks, everybody.
Have a great day. Bye.